Recognize that tune, and you know it's time for Relics Radio. This is a family-friendly show, so the entire family can join us as we talk metal detecting and relic hunting. You can call into the show at 270-495-0315 or join in the chat and post any comments or questions you might have, and we'll get to as many of them as we can. You're listening to Relics Radio of Southern Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. And you are live on Relics Radio. It is August the 30th, 2018. I tell you what, August is just about gone. But we are here another night, another show. Looking forward to tonight's show. And I tell you what, Tennessee Jeff and I are very fortunate to have a radio show like we have, because I've told Jeff 1,000 times that we've got a face for radio. I think we fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch.
I believe I missed one. I believe you hit every one of them. I missed one of them. So,
okay. What's going on tonight, Jeff?
Not much. It's raining cats and dogs here, and I could have swore I seen an elephant fall down, but, I mean, it's been pouring rain. What about up towards your way?
Not a bit of rain. Nope, not a bit
of rain.
Not a bit of rain yet. We need it, I tell you. What we need more than anything, though, is cool weather. If we can get some cool weather this way, we were talking before we started the show, we'd give anything in the world to wake up in the morning and see a big frost, wouldn't we?
Oh, we sure would. Of course, I was telling my wife that earlier today. I was like, man, I wish we'd wake up in the morning and be 20 degrees. And she looked at me funny, and I thought she was going to punch me. Of course, she says she loves summer, but she's always in the AC, so she's really not out digging in the dirt and stuff like that. So until you're doing that, you get, when you're doing that, you get the full effect of summer for sure.
It makes a lot of difference. And I don't know whether you know it or not, but this is our last show with Skype as we know it, the way it has been. And we've mentioned this on several shows, and I'm just hoping that somebody from Skype or somebody from, and we post these in a podcast forum as well. We post all these shows. I'm just hoping that somebody listens to the cry that we're giving out right now, because the one thing that they're taking away is the one thing that we need. We've got our guest tonight on Skype. I've got Jeff on Skype. And if you call in, we will get a notification, and then a little icon will pop up, and we can either hang up or answer it, and that would put everybody on hold. Or there's another option, add to group, and we hit add to group, and then we could have, I don't know how many they allow, 25, 30, maybe more than that. They're taking the add to group thing out. So the way I understand it, after tonight, or after it's supposed to change September the 1st, which is going to be Saturday. So Josh is going to be the guinea pig on Sunday night with Beyond Sight and Sound. So we're going to see how it works. But the way I understand it is that the caller will call in, and the show will not answer that call. And then after they hang up, then the show can grab their number and pull it into the group. I don't know why you want to fix something when it ain't broke.
That's right. I mean, I have no idea. Okay, say Sunday, if I call into Beyond Sight and Sound, all right, just let it ring and then hang up, then he can call me back.
he can call you back. Yeah.
Okay.
And it just doesn't make sense. It's just, I'm as confused as one of the 5 Williams boys standing out in the yard, and then their gotch-eyed daddy walk out on the porch and say, "Come here, boy." They don't know who he's looking at.
Yeah.
I don't know why that they want to do that. Anyway, I see the chat is just filled up while we just been going on with our foolishness here. Who we got?
Missouri Mike, he was the first one, and then we got Finding America. We've got Ken. Hello, Ken. We got Mark Hoover. Let's see, Earl from Virginia's in. There's Wes Stringer. He's in the house. Got Bill Hayes. Let me going up here. Ohio Relic Hunters in the house. Earl from Virginia. There's Paul Forsay. Tim Henderson's in. We missed him last show, but he was busy.
Yeah, we missed him.
He's in this time. Yep.
Did you call out Finding America?
I did. I sure did. Yep.
Okay.
And then Matt Purdue's in the house tonight. We hadn't seen Matt in a while.
No, we hadn't seen Matt. Where you been, boy? We've been missing you, sure have. Hey, guys, we've got a great show lined up tonight. We got a couple of great guests. These are great guys. Ken and Marc Guthrie from Detectees.com. These are the shirt guys. These are the guys where you get your official Relics Radio T-shirt, your official History Seekers, your official American Digger. They just got all kind of shirts. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing well tonight. How are y'all?
We're good, and that is Ken there. Mark, he drowned you out, I think.
Okay, well, here I am. I'm doing well tonight.
Good. And it is a little bit complicated. Me and Jeff, as we bounce questions and everything off of y'all, probably would help if we would call out your name or something other where that you would know. That'll help you, and then it'll help the listeners to know who is talking to. You know, we did something new last week, a thing called Show Prep, and we put that on our Relics Radio Facebook page, group page. And if you're not a member of that, you need to go to Facebook and just go to Relics with an S Radio and the group page and ask to join, and we will put you on there. And if you have, you can go down and you can see who our guest is going to be the following Thursday, because we always put that on there. And then we're going to keep and continue the show prep thing, which are questions that you want us to ask the guest. And we got a few more this week than we did last week. So maybe it's catching on just a little bit. But Jeff, I'll just go ahead and start it out and asked Bob McCracken put the first question in there, and he asked, since you guys are making T-shirts, are y'all thinking about making metal detecting decals?
Well, this is Mark.
Okay.
I posted on there with Bob. Thank you for the good question. We are looking at several things. We are going to try and make some stickers or decals sometime, something you could put on your window, or you could put on, it'll be probably a solid color. It won't be like one of see-through vinyl type sticker. It'll be an actual sticker. We're working on that, just trying to, well, sometimes it looks good on a T-shirt. Doesn't always look good on a sticker. It look good on a hat, look good on the bag, or whatever it may be. And I'm finalizing some artwork for those.
Right. And sometimes you have to keep those a little less complicated, don't you?
You do, because it's a smaller print, a smaller design, and you don't want to put too much stuff in there where whoever's looking at it from a distance can't see it.
Right. And I've been looking. In fact, I looked today again. I've got some of the vinyl decals, Digging with 7, and they are 3x3 circles. And I looked today at possibly getting some Relic Radio ones made. And in a 3x3, I think I can get 250 of those for about $140. So, that's not too awful bad. Even though we don't charge anybody if they want a sticker, we just give those away. But it's good advertisement, isn't it?
It is good advertisement, and As you mentioned the cost, that's one thing Kenneth and I always talk about when we're looking at trying to add new product. And we've been in business doing other stuff for over a dozen years. This is something that we made our passion, or we've made mental fitness become a passion for us. So we've added a T-shirt line to our business and started that website just so it'd be easier to get to. So whenever we want to add something to our product line, we always talk about it. And you have to figure out what it's going to cost us to make it, and how long we're going to hold it. Because you don't want to hold something for 5 years, and that 5 years is just you've lost your money. Obviously, the money. So, yeah. And we're not trying to make a huge profit, but you are trying to at least get some of your money back.
You don't want to go broke, do you?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah.
And, so, we do that well enough now in metal detectors.
Yeah, I know it.
That's right.
You try to keep up with the latest metal detector and latest shovel or latest pinpointer or whatever it may be, and it costs you a pretty penny sometimes. So that's all right.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. How did you guys get into making them?
Well, Kenneth, you answer that one for us?
Yeah, I'll tell a story, and I think I have it right because Mark's been the leader in all this. Mark does the magic. All their designs Mark makes. I'm more like the grunt. You know, when you order a T-shirt, it's coming out of Dallas, Georgia, and I'm making it there. So, but as far as making them, if I recall correctly, Mark was a wrestling coach, and he started looking around to see what he could get warm-ups for his team. And I think they're going to charge him $85, $90. And he said, that's absolutely ridiculous. These kids can't pay that price. I can make these things cheaper than that. And so he taught himself how to do it. And then I may be wrong on that, but a couple of years later, he got me into it, and we've been doing it since. That was about 15 years ago. But, you know, you just know there's a better way sometimes.
That's how it started.
Man, that's a good way to get it started. I know my stepdaughter, she's a senior this year, and some of the senior shirts, they are outrageous. So, hey, I may send her your way. So, to make her a senior shirt. Now, to her, it may not be the same, but hey, to me, it's going to be cheaper. I know.
Well, that's it. We have kids too. You know, I'm a dad, and I do a lot of. Right now, I'm in the middle of volleyball tournaments that'll lead into wrestling. So almost every Saturday between now and February, I'm in a gym somewhere making T-shirts, and we sell our T-shirts for about the same cost as we do on the website. You know, $10-12, and it's that way everybody can afford one. No, it doesn't worse when you go to an event or you want to get a T-shirt for somebody and it's $25. And the kids don't have that kind of money. They're having to get the parents, and the parents are like, gosh, I hate spending the $25. But at $10 or $12, hey, everybody's got $10 or $12. And so that's kind of the reason we try to keep ours at an affordable price. They're not the fanciest. You know, you can, if you want to go to the mall and spend $25-30 on a T-shirt, that's fantastic. Go right ahead. But that's not who we're trying to hit. We're trying to hit ones you can wear out into the field, you can wear at an event. And if you get it dirty, okay, go ahead and wash. It's a digging shirt. And that's the reason for Detectees.
Yeah, and you guys, you know, if there was a youth league, baseball or football or basketball or anything, you'd make their uniform shirts because most of the time those are just T-shirts with a number on the back of them and then a team logo on the front, right?
Absolutely. I'm doing a set of those this weekend for someone. So we've been doing that for years. We actually can do all kinds of stuff. We can do embroidery. To answer the question that was on Facebook, we're getting ready to add a line of hats, too. I'm finishing up the designs for that and getting those hats embroidered out, and we'll have those hopefully on the website within the next week or two. We'll have some bucket hats, and we'll have some regular, just the trucker style with mesh, and we'll have some regular, just like 10 just everyday hat that you can wear.
Yeah.
So we're going to add some of those. And yeah, we can do about, if you can think of it, we can just about do, we can do sublimation. I did football uniforms for someone last year. We do a lot of wrestling uniforms, whatever you can think of, we can do.
What about collared shirts? Have y'all done any of them yet?
Yeah.
Not for,
I just did a shirt.
Go ahead, Ken.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yes,
I just got to do a shirt. Yeah. Yes.
We need to be in the same room. That way we don't talk to each other.
That's right. That's what.
Well, y'all are 10 minutes apart, so I'm sure y'all are going to be trying to talk at the same time. So
I know, and Wes Stringer is in here. He sent me a text or something other and wanted to know if we were going to think about doing any hunting vest with Relics Radio logo on it. That might be something that y'all look into as well. If you can get a vest that would facilitate you to be able to put a logo on there, you wouldn't have to, well, like on our Relics Radio shirts, you just had to put the orange Relics Radio logo on the front of them. You couldn't put the two metal detectors or two rednecks with a metal detector on it. But, there's just a wide open field there of things that you can do. And I tell you what, from the testimonials that I've been seeing, Blake Gibbs got a shirt, and he found a fantastic New York button. Scott Duncan, he had a shirt. He found all kind of bullets. Bob McCracken got a shirt. He found a silver pendant. Everybody, what are y'all doing? What are you putting in those shirts?
Well, I put the good juju in those shirts. It's magic. Basically, that's what it is. But for those folks that don't find those items, don't be distressed. You'll still find your nails and your pop tops. I don't want you to lose out on that fun. It's good exercise for you, for the wide pride guys like myself. Don't think, gosh, all I'm gonna do is find good finds now. Of course not. I would never take that joy and excitement away from anyone that did a pop top. That's just not fair. That's just wrong.
Yeah, that's right too. Another question that was asked, and it's a metal detecting. In fact, the next two questions are metal detecting questions as well. Dennis Gretchencourt, and I hope I say that right, he wanted to know what, and I'll send it over to Ken first and then to Mark, what's more important to you, the VDI numbers or the tone quality of a target when you're hunting?
I got started, and my first was AT Pro, because and we may get into this later, how we got into it. But AT Pro, that's what Mark told me to buy. And he said, go to Tim Henderson. Tim Henderson's going to sell you one of these, and he'll give you everything you need. And Tim did, and treated me right. And so I was, at first he says, if it's over 40 or 45 or so, dig it. Anything below that, don't worry about it. And typically when we're looking for Civil War items, that's pretty close to right, because you're going to get a lot of iron in those lower signals. So I was, strictly VDI. If it was anything below a 50, I'm thinking about it, but if it's above that, okay, I'll give it a try. But then we were in the backyard of Mark's daughter's house, a house she was renting at the time, and came across some pistol bullets, and they were jumping all over the place. And I realized the tones were good, but my VDI wasn't necessarily always reliable. And so I try very, very hard to go more with tones than I do the VDI. Now I'm going to look at the VDI just as you can't. It's I don't know. It's like that ugly dog. You can't stop looking at it. You look over there, and that dog. Gosh, that dog's ugly. Oh, I got in front of my head. But you peek back at it, and that's kind of like the VDI is. You take a look back at it, and just to see what this might be. But I'm working very, very hard to go with tones, because I know that's a much better route. There's the Equinox that I have now. The VDI is, for me, just absolutely useless. I haven't got enough time on it, so I'm definitely going for tones.
What about you, Mark?
Yeah, stole my thunder there. I like to hunt the water. I love hunting the creeks. If I could just hunt one place, I'd hunt creeks and rivers and probably never get back on land. And it's a lot slower, which is my style, my pace. And you don't know what you're going to find. In the creeks, in the water, you really have to listen for tones, because sometimes your machine's submerged and you can't see. The AT Pro is what I use in the water, but they have backlight. So I can't see, so I'm having to listen for tones. And I know when I hit a bullet. I just know that sound. It rings up and it's solid. Also, I know when it starts breaking up on me that I'm probably hitting some iron. And then I will cheat and I'll look at the numbers. So I can get to the numbers. Sometimes if you hunt with me, I look like the biggest goober out there with my snorkel and my mask on, and I've got my weight belt on and everything on, and my vest on, and I'm sticking my head under the water trying to look at a VDI just to prove it is what I think it is. But long story short, I Like Ken, I've relied on VDI for a long time. I'm trying to go to tones and just listen to it. My first detector was the Garrett Days 300, or the Days 350. I'm sorry, 350. And when I had that, and I didn't have VDI on it, so I had to listen for tones. Now you could see the little arrow, but that was all you got to see. And then I moved into the AT Pro, which had the VDI on it, and quite honestly, I was relying on that a lot. As Kenneth mentioned, we tried to move over to Mind Lab. Everybody got an Equinox, and we jumped on the bandwagon and got one too. That's a different machine. It's a whole different machine, and tone is where I have to listen for that high tone to hit, because 15, 16 could be anything from, for me, it's been nails recently. That's all I seem to find is nails at 15 and 16, but also that's the same time or same number of bullets come in at, or supposed to. The guys I'm hunting with, that's what they're getting. So I've tried to move over to tones and not rely so much on the listening. One thing I do now, or not rely so much on the VDI, excuse me. One thing I've learned to do really is for myself is to change my position over the target. Change 90 degrees, move 45 degrees, and hit the target from different areas and see if the tone stays the same. Because you guys, anybody who's metal techs for a while knows, the angle you hit that target definitely changes the sound you're going to get.
It does.
Oh, it sure does. And then, I mean, that's actually the first time I've heard somebody say that on our show, that changing directions like that would help out. But all right, the next question is, what kind of detectors do y'all use? And then right now, while you're thinking about that, we've got to pay some bills, don't we, Seven?
Yeah, we're going to run a commercial right here.
Hey, Seven, we're looking good in our new Relics Radio T-Shirts.
Yeah, Ken and Marc Guthrie of Detectees.com done brung them to us.
Yep. And they makes other shirts, too.
Yeah, boy. Detectees.com can handle tees for your club, hunt, or any other promotion folks may have.
They even got the Wide Pride shirts.
Yeah, them boys does the manatee crawl.
Yeah, scooting on their bellies.
That's what I said. The manatee crawl.
Looks like slugs eating jelly.
So whether you hunt horizontal or vertical, tell the folks where they need to go, TJ.
www.detectees.com.
I still cannot keep from laughing at that commercial. Before y'all answer, get over there with Jeff and go to talking about detectors and everything. I pulled that one on y'all. And by the way, give credit to Jeff Ford, Plugmaster Ford. He's the voice behind those commercials that we do, and just does an awesome job with it. But I kind of pulled that one on y'all. We were running another commercial for y'all to start with, and then I came up with that idea. I told everybody about 2 o'clock in the morning, got up and wrote it down, and Jeff Ford the next day accommodated me. We put it all together and everything. And I just pulled that out of thin air one night on the show. What did y'all think whenever you first heard that? What did you think about it, Ken?
Oh, I thought it was absolutely awesome. I let my wife listen to it, and she just looked at me. She had that wide-eyed look at me like, what in the world? But she was laughing. So I knew, it is one of those that it's a showstopper. People are going to listen to it, and they're going to listen to that. So I appreciate it. It's great advertisement for us. It's awesome. I love it.
What about you, Ken?
Well, it sounds like something Kenneth and I would have come up with if we had sat around long enough, and we like to get goofy. And Kenneth will tell you that we're very fortunate that we get to see each other a lot. We talk to each other virtually every single day, and we act stupid and haven't been together for 47 years. We haven't quit acting stupid, which is, I say stupid. I'm just crazy and funny. I like it. I enjoy it. And the fact everybody else enjoys it so much, that just makes me enjoy it a little bit more.
Well, I'll tell you what, and there's been more than one person tell me, and I don't feel bad about it, but they said that's the only reason we listen to Relics Radio is to hear that commercial.
No, I don't feel bad at all.
I don't either. If that's bringing them in, well, that's helping our numbers, and that's giving you guys some advertisement and everything as well. And I just absolutely love it. But I'll let Jeff get back to his question.
Yeah. Do y'all use the same, or well, go ahead and talk about that a little bit.
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, well, my first detector I got was a Technetics Delta, the Delta 4000, and I got that, and I used it, and then I bought the Ace 350 thinking I needed to try the Garrett brand. You know, it's for new detectorists, we got to quit chasing detectors because we're putting ourselves in poorhouse, all we're doing. And you got to find, I had a conversation with my buddy Marty Gates the other night that we need to find one detector and stick with it. And that's what we did. I finally got to the AT Pro. So I went from the T2 to the 350, got the AT Pro, and I stuck with it for a long time. And I use it. If I'm going through the water, I like it. I just know how it operates, and it's kind of my fallback. I've now moved to the Equinox 600 because everybody says it's the thing to use, and I'm just going to, like I said a little while ago, jump on the bandwagon, and I'm trying it. It's growing on me slowly.
Yeah.
But what else you got at the house, Mark?
Oh, I got all kinds of stuff here at the house. I'd be embarrassed to show everybody how many I got.
You got one for every day of the week?
Yeah, and then next week too.
I just hope that I don't die and my wife sell all my metal detectors for what I told her I paid for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
traded for all mine. You didn't trade for all yours?
No, I didn't trade for all of mine. But
I traded for every one of mine.
Yeah, traded money for them, if you want to call that kind of trade. You know, the AT Pro probably is one of the, it was a game changer. There's no doubt about it. Now, it's not the greatest detector out there for every situation. It's not. But it is one of the best detectors that I have ever owned. I had it. Me and Jeff got one when they first came out. And then I went to an E-Track and used it for a while. I still own an E-Track. A friend of mine is using it. But then I went to CTX 3030, and now then I've got the Equinox. But me and Jeff will still pull those AT Pros out. In fact, I've got two AT Pros in case one of them goes out, because I'm never going to get rid of my AT Pro. It has its place. Yeah. Now I
agree 100%, Lloyd.
I love the Equinox, but what do we love about the AT Pro, Jeff?
We can discriminate in that iron pretty good. And see, when I go to look for a home site, it's kind of hard. Right now, it's hard for me to take the Knox out and find that home site. I'm not used to that iron sound, but the AT Pro, of course, I've been using it for years. And then as soon as I hit a debris field, I know where I'm at. I can read the ground real good with that AT Pro. So what about you, Mark?
Well, no, for me, that's... Go ahead, Ken.
Go ahead, Mark.
Well, Jeff, I'm the same way, man. That's why I take, no matter where I go, I got the AT Pro sitting in the truck. If I pull the Equinox out, I'll use it. But I end up going back over stuff with the AT Pro, just make sure I didn't miss something. That's where I'm at today. I'll get better, and I'll figure out which one I like better and which one I don't. And I'll probably go back to one or the other. But for right now, for the most part, the AT Pro for me is hard to beat.
No. So what about you, Ken?
Well, a lot about detectors. I've got four right now. One I don't use, but the other three I do use is the AT Pro, which Mark, the Bad Influence, taught me into. And that got me started. And then I do have a Nocta Impact, which I like it. I've used it in the field a couple of times. It's deep. The tones, I can set it to the tones I like. It's nicely balanced. It's a little bulky, but it's got a nice balance to it. And then, of course, I have the Equinox. And I use the Equinox now just because it's so much lighter. And if I know I'm going to be far away from my vehicle, I'm going to be on the other end of a field, 100, 200 yards away, I just get lazy and just like something a little lighter. But I'm with you. Everybody has that question. What detector should I buy when they want to get started? And of course, there's 1,000 different questions to ask them. Where do you hunt and where do you want to hunt and such? And if they're not hunting anywhere near a beach, the AT to me is just one of those. if my kids want to go hunting with me, I can get the AT Pro, put it in the right mode, and it's so user friendly, and that's what I like about it. And the Equinox is too. You can push a button and say, "Hey, go dig," and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not the Deus. Mark and I have discussed the Deus endlessly because I know it's got it can do so many things, but it just sounds so complicated to me. It frightens me, and I just want to go have fun. And so something that's easy to use, that's user friendly, that's just pick up and go. That's more of what that's more my style. And I think the AT Pro and Equinox are both that way. The Impact, I think, is a great machine, but it's comparable to the Deus. A lot of programs, 36 detectors in one, they say. So it's definitely got a lot of good features about it. And when I have used it, I've liked it.
And what me and Jeff have been doing, and I'm anxious to see how this develops out over the winter when we start hunting extensively again. But what we normally do is, I'm like him. I love to take an AT Pro and define that iron debris, the iron field, because, it's unmistakable. We run ours wide open, nothing on our iron disc, and we run in Pro Zero. And by the way, this coming Tuesday, I've got a video how we use our GPX, how we use our AT Pro, and how we use our Equinox. But we've been using the Equinox as a cleanup machine, where we are, after we've already hunted it with other machines and everything, we're going in there, and you'll find some things because of the multi-frequency and the great separation that it has. So, it has its... It has its benefits.
It sure does. Mark Hoover, he had a question here in the chat. He says, I'm curious, how come people don't talk about the AT Max? Do people feel that the AT Pro is that much better? But my experience, I've never used the AT Max. Have any of you guys used the AT Max?
No, this is Mark. And I'll tell you what, I'm not hate to dog out Garrett, but they waited so long on bringing it out that the Equinox was all of a sudden the new dog. And that's the reason I don't talk about it, because I had one. I planned on buying an AT Max. That was my next detector. But it just took so long to come out. And then I saw the Equinox, and I said, I'm not going to spend the same money when I can get an Equinox. And for me, that's the reason I don't talk about it.
No. And see, I had a Racer 2. And, of course, if you've watched our videos, I used it during the construction site hunt. And, I found 3 plates with that Racer 2. And I ended up selling it because I didn't really use it. And now I'm kicking myself. Well, why didn't I keep that? I found 3 plates and several bullets with it. And
I've got one. I'll sell you.
Well,
I'll sell you one.
So how do you think about that? What do you think about that Racer 2?
I haven't used it because I'll tell you how I got the Racer 2, because I told you I owned too many machines. I had a T2. Ken and I briefly tried the Detectees T2 and just couldn't get used to the sounds. And Kenneth and I are fortunate. We're a lot like this. If I don't like something, he probably ain't going to like it either. And it's just the way we are. We can pretty much predict that. And I traded the Racer 2 for a Nocta Cores 4, and then I have the in for a Racer 2. And I honestly haven't even used a Racer 2. It's brand new. It still has the stickers on it and everything. Just haven't used it. And it's just where we've been going. I use AT Pro and the Mind Lab. I'm glad you mentioned, though, about using that Mind Lab as a cleanup machine. We're going somewhere this weekend. We got 3 old house sites dating back from the 1700s and up that we're going to hit. And I will have to do that. I have to use the AT Pro, and I will use the Equinox as well on those sites.
Yeah. Do you have the 6 or the 800?
I have the 600.
Okay. Now, I have noticed with the 600, that's what Loy and I have, is the recovery speed is very fast. Don't get me wrong, but the slower you go, you can pick out them small brass targets in between the iron. And then, of course, the sites Loy and I hunt, it's nail infested. Square nails everywhere. Cut nails. But, the slower you go, the better. Of course, I guess that's with any detector. So.
And Earl from Virginia brought out a point that I think is good. The AT Gold, now the AT Pro is 15 kilohertz. The AT Gold is 18 kilohertz, and I don't know on the Max what it is. But there's just not that much of a change between the Max and the Gold from the AT Pro. You're just not getting that much more, but you're paying more money. And I think that was kind of a drawback. And you used the AT Gold for a little while whenever your Pro was on the fritz, didn't you, Jeff?
I sure did. And it was something about the sound. I couldn't get it to discriminate. It just, everything sounded the same to me. I don't know if it was my ear or whatever. I don't know. I just didn't like the sound. And the AT Gold, I mean, I haven't seen that many people purchase the AT Gold. I'm sure there's several people that have, but I haven't seen any videos on it. And like, I haven't seen enough stuff about like you do the Knox or the AT Pro.
Yeah,
I will say the same thing, Lloyd, what you just said. We talked about the Max, and I didn't get one of those. It didn't look that much different than my Pro.
No,
it was from what I could tell. It was souped up a little bit better, okay, but it wasn't souped up enough to make a difference for me. If I was going to spend, $650, $700, I would have just assumed have gotten the Equinox. Now, and what happened for me, I kept telling my kids, hey, Dad needs this. His birthday's coming up, or Dad needs this. Father's Day's coming up. Dad needs this. Y'all can get it early for Christmas. And I was going through stuff and saw it online and told my wife, I said, here it is right here. You need it. I said, I'm tired of you talking about that. You just go ahead and give me that thing. I was on my iPad, and she bought it for me right there. So, she got so mad at me talking about it. But as far as me wanting one, there wasn't a huge difference in it. And I'm hoping if the Garrett, I like the tones on the Garrett. I like the way it's easy to use, but I just didn't think it wasn't much different than what I had.
No, it's not.
I didn't see enough different.
It's just not enough difference, and the Equinox was dramatically different than anything else. The multi-frequency, and I was toying with the idea. I was going to get another Relic machine. I was toying with the idea of getting an XP Deus. And then I kept hearing word that MindLab was coming out with a fast machine, and I thought, well, I'll just wait and see what they're coming out with, because I'm doing okay with what I've got right now. I still had my 3030, which I didn't like as a Relic machine. It's a great machine to hunt yards with, but I don't think it's that great of a Relic machine. I think the Equinox is better. So I just waited. And then the more that I saw about it, I thought, I'm going to go with the Equinox. Now, I may someday get an XP Deus because I'm a techie kind of guy, and you can do a lot of things with that. But
oh yeah.
But one thing that really turned my head though was that Heath found a scabbard tip, and then the XP Deus just couldn't hear it at all. And he changed frequencies around and everything, and finally got to where he could hear it, but he kept telling Heath, he said, it's junk. It's a piece of iron. Don't dig it. He said, the Knox said it's good. And so he dug it, and there's a scabbard tip. I think Scott took his Equinox back to the car and got his Equinox out then. Or took his XP Deus back to the car and got the Equinox.
So, Tim, he put on there, he said, what's the best beach unit? He said he's going to the beach in October. So, AT Pro, Knox, what we're talking about here, AT Max. Well, Tim, he could probably get a hold of an AT Max and let us know how that works out.
The AT series is not good at the beach. It's not good in salt water.
No,
not at all. You're gonna have to run your ground balance way down. You're gonna have to manually run it down to 15 or 20, and it's just not good. The best machine that you can buy to go to the beach with it really is a PI machine, some kind of pulse inductive machine, and there's a lot of them that are out there now. The Equinox may hold its own in that salt water. I don't know. I took mine to the beach, and I never did use it this last time because me and Austin fished every day. But from what I'm hearing, it will kind of hold its own on the beach.
I just stayed in dry sand, and I found a little bit of clad, but I just hunted maybe 10 or 15 minutes the whole time, so I didn't I can't really say anything about that. So
I've got to get.
I will tell you guys. Go ahead. I'll tell you guys in October because I'm going to the beach in October, and I'm going to dunk that Equinox in there and see how well it does.
Yeah.
And then I'll have Tim and Ron with me as well. We're going to meet up down there. We're going to get that. We're going to take a Sea Hunter with us, and we'll compare them and give you a report.
Yeah, I've got a Sea Hunter that Tim has got. I don't need it because the only thing that I did with it, I hunted 3 different trips to Gulf Shores with the thing. It is a great water detector. I mean, it is. That's what it's made for. But I just don't go enough to justify having the thing. So, I have used it on some Civil War sites, though, and it'll work in that mineralized ground. And, I've seen some guys at DIV with those, with a Sea Hunter, and then there's something else that they had that is like that. It's a PI machine, but it's not a what is the Garrett one? GTX?
GPX.
GPX, okay. No, GPX is mine.
Yeah, that's you get all these. That's ATX. Yeah.
ATX. Okay, yeah, that's it. It wasn't that. It was like the Sea Hunter, but you can use those. Hey guys, we're coming up on another hard break, and we need to run one more commercial here, and we'll be right back. If your passion is metal detecting, then you know how much your success is based on the equipment you use. Let my buddy Tim Henderson of Murray Branch Outdoors in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, help you with that. Tim is an authorized dealer of Garrett, XP Deus, Tesoro, and Macro detectors and supplies, and he is now an authorized dealer for Mine Lab. So, if you're looking to get your hands on the new Equinox 600 or 800, then Tim is your guy. Murray Branch Outdoors is not only competitive in their prices, but the service after the sale is second to none. Tim not only sells detectors, he uses them, and so he can answer any questions you might have. Murray Branch Outdoors also deals in used detectors, and he'll take your old detector in on trade when you decide to upgrade. So give Tim of Murray Branch Outdoors a call at 615-948-4611 and be sure and tell him Relics Radio sent you. Now, Mark, you must have that ESPN because you were talking about Tim Henderson, and I already had that ad queued up, and I think you knew that. And jumped in there, and Tennessee Jeff has put our call-in number in, 270-495-0315. It'll work at least one more week today, and we don't know about next Thursday, but it'll work tonight. So if you want to call in. Denny Morrison had another question for you guys, and we'll go to Mark first on this one here because we went to Ken, I think, last time. What kind of headset do you guys like, and why?
I like the smallest, lightest weight headset I can use. I'm using AT Pro. I use that wireless system they came out with. And I just use a set of earbuds that go into my ears because I sweat like a stuck pig when I get out there in that heat. And it's hard. It's hard for me to have that big old bulky headphone on me. I know people tell you you'll miss tones and you won't hear the faint whispering tones and such. But I just really use a nice pair of earbuds. I use, it's not a $3 pair of earbuds. It's $25, $30 set of earbuds that I use. And then I use, that's for the AT Pro. I'm here.
Yeah.
Hey, bud.
Tim Henderson has called in. What's going on, Tim?
How'd I come in? I thought I had to call and hang up.
No, that's next week probably.
Yeah, that's next week.
Oh, early, yeah. Don't hang up yet, buddy.
No, everything's good this week.
Ready.
Before we get over to you, Tim, Ken, what headset do you like?
Well, like Mark said, we're kind of we're twins, So I'm we kind of like the same things. Earbuds, we kind of got sold on those. I'm using that Z-Link with the Garrett. Throw me some earbuds, and I like that so I can also hear. I hear the stories and I see pictures of, there's a rattlesnake there, or there's something over there. I like to hear what's going on around me. So if I'm wearing my headphones, I'm going to have one ear off anyways. But those earbuds aren't so encompassing. And where I hunt, I don't hunt near the streets. I don't hunt in the middle of airports. You know, I'm hunting in the field way away from everybody. So it's pretty quiet anyways. So I like using the earbuds. But now with the Equinox, I just got me a pair of the Micas headphones because they were, I think, $60 on Amazon as opposed to the Mind Labs price. And they worked well. They, had no latency issues and worked real well. And but they're warm. They cover your ears up, and any trap heat on me, it's wide cries have a tough time.
Especially with the sweat and everything like that.
See, that's nice during the winter though, when the wind's blowing real hard.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's different. Yes.
Yeah, there's times whenever a set of headphones is good. Denny Morrison has called in, but we hadn't got to Tim yet, Denny. So just hang on the line there, and we'll get to you here in a minute. What's going on, Tim Henderson, our dealer of choice?
Just listening and enjoying, brother.
That's good. So you said you had the Max, right?
I do have the Max, and I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the Pro. I'm going to take the Equinox, and I'm going to take the Sea Hunter Mark II. I've got one of those pretty new. It's only been out once. And last year, when we went, I guess it was year before last, I took a Tesoro Sand Shark, and we took a Sea Hunter Mark II. And Ron and I tried those, and I really liked the Tesoro pulse unit. It was a lot more stable. The Sea Hunter, every time you'd get a little wave would come over, it'd do a little false, but you'd still get a good signal on a target. But the Sand Shark was real stable, and I've kind of favored that because one of my first detectors was the Tesoro Tiger Shark, so I kind of knew that unit. But Ron and I were amazed. We took our AT Pros to the beach down there, and when we were on dry sand, we would ground balance, and it would ground balance somewhere around 75 to 80, very stable. But as soon as we hit the wet sand, it would get noisy, but we would just re-ground balance, and it would go way down to like 11. And we were in the water with it too, and it got extremely stable, and we were having good luck with it. I mean, it was picking up signals, and it wasn't falsing, it wasn't jumping around and carrying on. And it may have just been we were down at Dauphin Island, Alabama, and maybe the sand's a little different there or something, but for whatever reason we had real good success with those.
Well, see, when I went to the beach, I used my AT Pro. This is a couple of years ago, and of course, like you said, on dry sand I was doing great, but as soon as I hit the wet sand, it started chattering, and I never could get it to ground balance. And I'm sure it's different machines are different. But I did find some pretty good targets when I was in the wet sand. And I mean, you can tell when you went over a target.
You just can't go right at the edge of where it's wet and dry. That would cause it to act up a little bit. But if that's all you got, I'd definitely take it and go with it. But obviously, whenever I go to the beach, I want the best and the latest and greatest.
Yeah, you do. Let me throw one more thing in here on the earphones and everything. Mark Hoover is talking about the WM-08 is what comes with the Equinox 800. But if you don't have that, you can get that through Walmart, and it is cheaper, and it is, according to Heath now, it's boxed, and it is exactly the same set of headphones. Am I right on that?
I got a set, Lloyd. And they're exactly the same. They just don't have the Mind Lab logo on them, but they're the exact identical same headphones for like $49-$50.
Right.
Now Lloyd, he's saying it's a wireless box, and he plugs earbuds because he is saying he uses earbuds in the summertime down there in Florida where he lives, and it's WM-08. It's a wireless box.
Oh, okay.
And he plugs his earbuds into that.
Oh,
so
okay.
I told him, ask him to see him. But he said it comes with the 800.
So is that box? Is it waterproof?
I don't know.
No,
I think that you clip it on your belt.
No, I don't think it's waterproof. I think it runs off Bluetooth, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I would think that's right.
Yeah, you just link that up. I'm talking about something.
I personally should know that, but I don't.
Yeah,
Mark said no, it's not.
Yeah, I'm talking about something here that I have no clue about because I never have used one. But there's Heath Jones in there. We may get him to call in and tell us about the wireless box, the WM08, and let us know or put something in chat or something other. But
we still got Denny online.
We still got Denny. What's going on, Denny?
I'm just sitting here listening.
That's all I'm doing.
Hey, Denny.
You guys were, what my question was about is the headset. I hunt a lot in the winter, and I use Black Widows. And I have ringing in my ears, and I know a lot of guys in here worked in shops like I did, and they're about deaf anyway. And those Black Widows beat anything on the market in the wintertime or fall even. You can just hear everything, and it blocks out everything. They're just really a good headset. I can't say enough about the Black Widows. They're the best. I've got every kind of headset that was ever made. I've got them or had them. So, but I like the Black Widows the best.
I've heard the Black Widows are real good. And then the Bumblebees
they're a little bit
also.
bigger. They look a little awkward, but boy, do they work good. And but in the summertime, of course, I'm a Deus user, and I like my headset that I just put behind my head, and I just love that little headset. I wished the Equinox had a headset like that rather than those big, clumsy headsets they got. Yes, it does come with a box, but then you got to plug the thing in. I don't want to do that. I just want to have a headset that's wireless and lightweight. And that big bulky thing that they sent me with my 800, that might be okay in the fall and the winter, but it sure as heck ain't in the summertime.
And we're taking full advantage of being able to take all the calls that we can. We got 6 people on the line right now because Heath Jones just came on with the History Seekers. What's going on, Heath?
Hey, man, not a whole lot. Sorry, I was tuning in a little late. I was coming in right at the end about the WM08 module. What was the question again?
Mark Hoover about headsets, Heath.
One of them was,
Mark Hoover.
Is it waterproof?
Go ahead, Lloyd.
And it's not, is it?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No. The only way to make that machine waterproof is basically have the waterproof headphone. Well, I'm sorry, you can use the machine without headphones and just make sure the stoppers in it, kind of like the AT Pros, or you have to have the waterproof headphones.
Yeah. You're breaking up. Your mic's breaking up a little bit. All I hear is heavy breathing.
Really? Oh, no. Are you
He's got to have a permit.
Oh, man. Can you guys hear me now?
Must be an Alabama thing.
Go ahead, Heath. Talk again.
Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me now?
We can, but it's breaking.
Same, Heath.
It's a little bit scratchy. I don't know what the deal is. Let me drop you and you call back in.
Okay.
It may be something else. And see if that
Mark
helps.
says it sounds like he's underwater.
He may be. He may be in the bathtub. You don't ever know,
Oh man.
He called me.
Got a mental thought I'll never get rid of.
Yeah, he called me the other night, and Scott Duncan couldn't be on his show, and he said, "You got to help me tonight." And I said, "Well, I'm at a soccer game right now," and I said, "I'll help you, but I'll just have to do Skype on my phone." And then I said, it'll take me 10 or 15 minutes to get home, but I said, I'll start the show with you like that till I get home and get in the studio. And I'd been toying around with some different mics and everything. I had my preamp turned all the way up on this thing. And so when I got home, he dropped me off the phone, and then I came up here in the studio. And he was in a conversation with Terry, with the guy that found the $20,000 ring. And guys, if you hadn't heard that show, go back and listen to Tuesday night. But anyway, I had my preamp turned all the way up, and I was sitting here going, and Heath was burning my phone up with text. He said, "All I can hear is heavy breathing. You got to get that stopped." Then whenever I linked up and I saw the I saw the register, the VU meter there, I could tell that I was really, really overmodulating. So he's paying me back. He called me from the bathtub tonight.
A little rubber ducky.
Hey, Ken and Mark, we are at the end of the show. I'm going to go ahead and give you a heads up on this. At the end of the show, we're going to give somebody a Relics Radio T-shirt out of the chat. You guys, you can either randomly pick or whatever y'all want to do, however you want to work that. I will tell you, though, that some of the people in there already have a shirt. And, of course, I guess you got, Ken, you would probably know more than Mark does because you're the one that mail them out. Don't give somebody that's already got one because we want to get somebody else in the contest. And by the way, guys, if you have not seen our Relics Radio Facebook page, we have a T-shirt contest, and if you've got a Relics Radio T-shirt, put that thing on, take a picture of yourself, and send it in. We're going to probably sometime in November, we're going to give a gift package away. And the big item in that package is going to be a Garrett Pro Pointer AT. But we're going to include some other stuff in that as well. So just trying to promote those shirts. And I tell you what, you're going to find more stuff. Heath,
no doubt.
Did you get out?
Somebody wants to, we got it in army green. We got it in blue, red. If there's a color you don't see on our website, go ahead and purchase it, put it in your notes, hey, I want it in hot pink. You'll get it in hot pink. If you want it in, we can get just about any color shirt you want. You want it in teal, we'll get it in teal. Can't do camouflage or something like that. Those are more expensive. But if you want any basic color shirt and you just have one that's a different color you like, let us know. And that's on any of our shirts we have. We have, 5 or 6 colors that we basically run. But if you like white shirts, say, hey, I want it in white.
Yeah.
And if you can't have a black shirt because our prints are black and black's not going to show up on black.
Right.
So black or navy's not going to work. But just about anything else will. So if you got a certain color you like, let us know and get those radio relics or get the T-shirts and we'll make it happen.
Okay. Heath is back on the line. Did you get out of the water, Heath?
Well, I don't know. Let's try that.
Yeah. You sound good.
Maybe I went
now.
in the water with my WMO8, I guess, and that's what happens.
We'll just blame it on Skype like we do everything else.
Yeah.
Well, funny you should say that. There was an update right before I came on. I was late coming on the show, and there was an update, so it probably was Skype. Don't update the new version. It sucks. It's horrible.
I'm not going
it's
to.
Horrible.
I'm not going to until I absolutely have to. But I got a notification here where things are popping up, and Butch Holcomb is online on his Skype. I don't know if he's going to call in too, but we got 6 on here now. We're just going to try to have a marathon. So, Butch, if you're listening, go ahead and hook up with us here and just destroy the whole thing.
Yeah, Matt Howell call in, Earl from Virginia.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark Hoover, you're not on here.
Yeah.
Anita Jackson.
Yeah, just get as many
we'll
people.
See how many people we can get on here.
That'd be great right there. I'll tell you, just to get as many as we can. And I've been working all week long, guys, on booking upcoming guests. And let me go ahead and go through some of those. I tried to get Earl from Virginia on September 13th, and he can't do it. I may have to get back with him and maybe swap with somebody because we got Joe Davidson, Okie Surf and Turf Metal Detecting next week. And then on the 20th of September, we got Tony Frangella, I think is the way you say it. He's 5280 at 5280 Adventures on YouTube. And then we got Denny Morrison on September 27th. And Matt Howley's calling in right. Matt Howley's calling in right now. What's going on, Matt?
Hey, don't you guys threaten me with a good time?
No, we've got the most callers we've ever had on at one time. We got 7 people on right now.
You say we had Denny as a guest?
We got Denny Morrison as a guest.
Who's Denny? I don't know him.
I don't either. Well, I just wanted to be a part of the call-in madness, so I just called and say howdy fellas, and everybody else who's calling in right now, and everybody in the chat.
Well, we really appreciate it. Just hang on. I mean,
glad you did.
I mean, we can keep on here.
Yeah. Yeah, we got Denny Morrison on. I told Heath Jones, I said, I'm gonna break Denny from calling in. I'm gonna make him a guest. I'm gonna make him talk the whole night.
There you go.
Now
Mark says I gotta update my tin cans if I call in.
Yeah. No, we appreciate you, Denny, and everybody else that calls in for sure, and to talk with us and to. Hey, any of you guys got another question for Mark and Ken? They're our guest, and they're back in the back room here somewhere. I'll have to pull them back out.
No, I got a question for Heath. That's we had talked about him in the WMO8 box, and the reason it came up was because Mark Hoover said you could plug in your earbuds into that thing. So Heath, is that box available for purchase where you can plug earbuds in because those headphones get hot, or is there another box that you know of that might work with the 600? Because the 600 didn't come with that box like the 800 did. That was the reason your name got brought up.
Well, he has dropped off, and so he will have to call back in.
He's trying to sell a melody.
He's trying to what?
Yeah, he was trying to
sell an E-track on here.
He may be.
I'm thinking you can buy that box for the 600. I think I saw that because the 600 has that Bluetooth capability.
Right.
I think it just comes.
And I would think you could.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm calling Heath back. I've added him to the group back again. So hold on, Ken, and he can. I guess it was Ken that was asking that question, and
it was
okay, and he can answer that as soon as he comes back on, unless he fell in the bathtub or something. I don't know.
Sorry, guys, I had a phone call.
Oh, okay. Quit selling detectors and answer Ken's question. Did you hear Ken's question?
I did not. I actually had a customer call. I had to take it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good. Well, that's good.
So I just dropped off.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
Okay. We're talking about headphones I like to use, and I like using earbuds. And then Mark Hoover said he uses earbuds with his WM08 box for the MindLab that he got with the MindLab 800. And of course, that doesn't come with the 600. Is that box available for purchase? The first question, or is there another box that might be cheaper than MindLabs that you could use for that, like that?
No, that's the only box that's like that you can use. Now, I've been looking into some other headphones and some other earbuds, and I've only found one set of like earbuds that had the wireless built in. You know what I'm talking about? They just have a little bitty thing on the wire between the two earbuds. And I was going to buy those. They're the only ones that I can find that have the aptX. Write this down, guys. You got to have aptX low latency headphones. Now, the regular Bluetooth will work. They will. The problem you get is the delay. It's measured in milliseconds, and what happens is your coil is off the target before you hear the beep in your ear. That doesn't work well for metal detecting, because then you're like chasing targets that are at a different point in the ground every time you swing over it. So that basically, I hope that answers your question.
And your mic is garbled again for some reason. Really? Yep, sure is. I don't know why, but I mean it's cracking up. Just like we can understand everything you're saying, but the audio quality's not good on it.
Well, we do have 12 people in here, so.
I got a customer that called me, and he's linking his. We were talking about the aptX low latency, and he's got hearing aids that are aptX low latency compatible. He can link them to his phone, and he's linking those to his 600.
Dude, that's like cheating there.
That's cool right there. That's awesome right there.
That is cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, me and Mark.
I'm doing a new set of hearing aids, and I might get those. If I could pair them up to my 800, that'd be cool. I wouldn't have to wear any headset.
You should be able to.
Yeah,
that Knox should pair up with them.
Me and
I'll be darned.
Me and Mark Hoover need to get those. We're a couple of old men. We're getting close to needing hearing aids.
Missouri Mike, he get the low latency buds from Amazon for $29.
Well, Kenneth and I bought a pair from Best Buy that worked pretty good. They're buds from they're about $39, and it's got an Asian name to it. I can't think of the name of it, but they work pretty well. And when you're pinpointing, you're right there over it. So the latency, I didn't notice an issue with that. They were aptX.
It's a tad off. It's not exactly right, but we're still digging stuff. It was a tad off, and but then I couldn't get the hook back up to the Knox. So that's when I got the Micas. So
I hunted with some that had a little bit of a delay early on with the AT Pro before they came out with the Z-Link, and I just found some cheap ones, probably from China. Ron didn't like them because he didn't like the latency, and I just got used to it because a lot of times I was just swinging and I wasn't really looking at the machine, and once I'd get a signal, it was just enough of it was a signal that knew I had something there, but when I'd come back to it and slow down to pinpoint it, I could just get right on it. And so I didn't really notice how bad it was. I got used to it, but when I went to the Z-Link, it was like, holy cow, there was a big delay there, but I just got used to it.
Right.
It's like going from recovery speed 3 to recovery speed 1 on the Knox. It's like
exactly.
It's taken me a little bit to get used to that recovery speed 1.
I tell you what, with
that slow down.
With that recovery speed 1, whenever you get a beep, it's just whoa. I mean, it just stays there. Hey guys,
can you do that one more time?
Whoa.
There you go.
Hey guys, let's run another commercial and we'll be right back. If you want to keep up with what's going on in the metal detecting world, then you need to be a subscriber to American Digger magazine. Butch and Anita Holcomb are the publishers of the magazine and have won awards for 3 straight years for being the best digger magazine on the market. American Digger magazine is available in both print and digital formats, so no matter where you live in the world, you can enjoy the latest happenings in the hobby. You can get in touch with American Digger magazine by going to americandigger.com or give them a call at 770-362-8671 and be sure and tell them that you heard it on Relics Radio. And a heads up, I've got an article that's coming out in American Digger magazine in the January-February issue. It is Plugmaster Ford and Wes Stringer, and also Chris Heimsoff joined them on the last dig of that, The Great Silver Horde. So looking forward to that coming out, and I tell you what, it is a great magazine. There's no doubt about it. And Heath is gone right now. He said he's probably going to restart his computer, but he said there is a difference between the aptX and the aptX low latency. So I think the low latency is the one that is almost dead on. Whenever the coil's passing, you're getting the sound. Am I right?
Yes. Yes, correct. You're right.
And I just now added Heath back in, so we are back up to 7 callers at this time, or 7 people on the line.
We'll see if that works.
That works great right there. I don't know what you did.
It's something with Skype, the new version of Skype. I know this is crazy. I know people get tired of hearing it, but I restarted. I was listening to the show while I had the customer on the line, and some reason was causing interference. I don't know. Even though I'd stopped it. Craziness.
Maybe it's the aptX low latency.
That's right.
And I read what you sent me on a message. And by the way, you guys that are on telephone, when we're on Skype here, which me and Jeff and Heath are on, we can send messages on Skype back and forth to one another. I can send like me and Jeff tonight, we've been saying, we'll send a text, ask Ken this question, ask Mark this question. And you guys, you don't know what we're saying about you guys while you're on here.
It's all good, we promise.
It is. It's all good.
Y'all wasn't supposed to let that cat out of the bag now.
But
you didn't ask the other question, Lloyd. I'm still waiting for you to ask that question. That guy posted. I think you're missing a question on that.
Yeah. This, and by the way, look this next week because we have started a new feature called Relics Radio Show Prep, and it gives you an opportunity to post a question on that post with a comment and give us a question that you want us to ask our next guest, which next week will be Joe Davidson. But there was a late question that came in on it today. Why is Ken so much better looking than Mark since they're twins? So I don't know which one of you, Mark, you want to answer that question?
Well, because Mark's much smarter, that God had to take a little bit away from him to make Ken feel better.
Good answer. Yeah. And then I looked and I thought, well, who posted that question there? And I looked, and I'm not gonna give any names, but his initials is Ken Guthrie. Hilarious. I don't even know who all we got on here now. We still got
the romper room.
Yeah, we still got Mark and Kim. We still got Denny. We still got Matt Howe is still on here. Heath is still on here. Tim Henderson is still on here.
Well, surely we can talk about something.
Yeah,
I'm just here for the
snacks. Who came first, Ken or Mark? I think it was Mark. He must have kicked the pretty into Ken on the way out.
I got a question for our talkers or speakers.
Okay.
What's the deepest thing you've found with your machines? Deepest. I can tell you what I found with my GPX 5000. I found a 40 caliber pistol bullet at 2 feet. Match that with your AT Pros.
Yeah, well, mine was the GPX 4800, and it was a plate at 3 foot.
It doesn't matter. A GPX is a GPX. I've had a 4500 and 5000. I only got the 5000 because I bought one and got one free, and a man on here sold it to me.
Yeah.
That is not only an ounce of difference in any of the GPXs. So you're just paying for that extra ounce.
Yeah.
Well, guys, y'all can talk about your GPXs all you want to. My Equinox 600 found a nice plow point at 20 inches under. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, well, that's
nice. Hey, it's a find. It's a deep find.
That is impressive.
It was a deep. I thought, mercy, I found a cannonball. I got something good. Holy moly, I love this machine. I have to dig and dig and dig.
I tell you what, better than that, I found a 6-pound cannonball here in Ohio with an Ace 250.
Pretty
Ace
good.
250. Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, an Ace 250. Hey, Mark, what's the deepest thing that you found with your machine?
I found sheet metal about 1.5 foot deep under 3 rocks in an hour of digging. It was a great day.
Yeah.
Scott calls that fool's gold.
Yeah.
It was idiot's gold, I tell you. And I thought it came in at 90, and it kept hitting at 90. I thought I found somebody's silver hoard. And I pulled out the first rock, and the rock's about 1.5 foot across. I mean, so it's a heavy rock. It's just some flat creek rock. And I dig, and I hit another rock, and it's another about 1.5 foot. I think somebody buried something underneath this rock. And I got to a third rock, pulled it out, and there's sheet metal underneath it. And I don't know how or why it was there. It just hurt my feelings.
Maybe the gold was under that.
Maybe so. Now, Kenneth and I did pull out a full throttle can out of the creek about 18 inches with the AT Pro. But nothing good. Nothing other than just junk iron at deep.
Well, I found a 3-ringer at 5 feet deep with the AT
Wow.
Yeah.
I was in the river.
Is that anywhere close to the shovels we need right now? to get out of this hole?
No, it's 5 feet deep of water, right?
I'm gonna tell you.
5 feet deep in the water. That's
I'm
right.
gonna tell you something. Me and Heath.
Hey,
can,
Loy.
hold on a
Did
minute.
you listen to American Digger the other night, and those guys were on. They
that's where
something 192 feet down.
I know, right? That's what I was
With a
going to
thing
say.
up in the air going around. I went, you got to be. Who's these guys?
They had a ground penetrating radar that was on a drone, wasn't it, Heath? That will look down
That's
in
what
the
they
ground
said.
250 feet deep.
Wow.
Is what they were saying. Now,
Yeah.
What they said.
I would
I'll
have
tell you the Brooklyn Bridge too when that happens.
Maybe we should have them on the show, Loy.
I don't know. And by the way, Heath, Jeff Looper messaged me last night, and we talked a little bit back and forth about that. While we're talking about finds, I want to get back to Ken and Mark real quick. Ken, what is the best find that you found in your metal detecting career? And then I'll let Jeff go over to Mark.
Well, my first find, it was an 1892 barber. You know, as far as, you know, the neatest, I guess the coolest thing I found that you don't find every day is a barber. Of course, I'm still relatively new. I've got lots of things that are on my bucket list and things I want to find. But that was, you know, as my first find, that was probably my neatest find. Not including the bullets and things. Of course, to me, those are always better. But that would be that's probably my best find. I did find a Whitworth bullet. That was kind of neat.
Oh man,
That would be cool.
Oh, wow.
I've never found one of those. But I had my hands tied, and I know that Scott's still looking for his first barber. I had my hands tied whenever I first started metal detecting, as far as finding a barber, because they hadn't been minted yet.
Are you saying your stick wouldn't find it? Is that the dividing rod?
No, they hadn't been minted yet. You know, I mean, we were still back in cap bus days and everything back then.
He's that old.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Mark, what is your best find?
My best find is a carved snake bullet. It was right in the middle of the river. I was with Tim and Kenneth, actually, and we were right in the middle of the river. And I thought it was a bullet, pulled it out, and looked at it and realized it wasn't a bullet. It has a little tail on the end of it and has two little eyes on the other end of it, and it's coiled up. That's probably my favorite and best find so far.
Man, that's a real good find. Did you guys start hunting together, or was it separate?
Oh, no, it was separate. Mark got into it, and in fact, we're down in Georgia, in Cave Springs, Georgia, and I was kayaking and fishing at the time, and he's like, let's go kayaking. And I thought, okay, that's great. You know, bring your poles. Like, I'll bring a metal detector. I was like, man, there's fish right here, because they got some pretty good strike down there. And so I'll catch the bait. Don't worry, we'll be fine. And I'm sitting there fishing, and he's in there with a snorkel and his mask, and he's under the water, and, you know, I'm looking for him, and I'm thinking, we came down here to go fishing. And I hadn't got a detector yet. And, but no, he was all in. I don't think he'd care if he caught another fish while we're kayaking at all. And that's, you know, the reason we do T-shirts. T-shirts has been very good to support our toys for a long time. And it's allowed us a lot of different things, whether it be kayaking or metal detecting. We just do all kinds of different things. But he got into it, and he was first, and then I got into it probably 6 months later. I got my AT Pro. Tim sold to me, and in fact, that hunt where he found that snake bullet was my first water hunt. I found split shots. They found bullets. So,
Mark, how did you get into it?
You know, it's one of those things that when I was young, my dad did it, and he had the old Garrett green box, heavy as days long detectors, and he'd hunt. And that's when you didn't have pinpointers, so you'd pull out dirt and go over it, pull out dirt and go over it. And he hunted for a while and got out of it. And I guess probably 3 or 4 years ago, I just thought, I think I want to metal detect. You know, you go through your life where you do different things, and I've got to where I got out of coaching. I don't coach anymore. I'm a teacher. Some people know me. I teach school and do metal detect on the side and T-shirts and everything else on the side. But I think on Meltech, and I'd gone visit my dad. My dad had just got an AT Pro, and I was talking to him about it, and that fever hit me. You know, that fever hits you got to do it, and that's what happened. I got it, and then met Kim and Ron. I'd actually taught Ron Reed's daughter many years ago in school, and we started Murfreesboro Melteching Club, and that was just a perfect way for me to get into it. And about the time I bought the Detector, the club opened up, and we all got into it. Been doing it ever since.
Well, that's a great story. I mean, that's the average story of somebody getting into it. So.
Were you guys there whenever I came down to Murfreesboro Metal Detecting Club and spoke that night?
No, sir. I don't know what I had. I had something, but I know I was not there.
Yeah, I didn't remember meeting you. In fact, I met both of y'all at the Chattanooga hunt. I'm going to ask Mark a question here. Mark, what is one thing that you think that you should have found, but you haven't found it yet?
That's a good question. Based on where we've hunted and all the bullets and stuff we found, I think I should have found some type of, other than button, some type of other clothing item, or I guess a buckle or some type of plate, something like that I haven't found yet.
Well, that's mine. I mean, I found a breastplate, but I've not found a belt plate or a box plate yet, and I think that I should have.
It's you think, well, this past weekend we're in the creek, and I get a banging signal. And I reach down in the mud because I decided we're gonna hunt in the mud. I get to reach down in the mud to pull out this rectangle thing. It's a dadgum dip can, but I tell you what, I thought it was a buckle. I was getting ready to scream. And it's going to come, and yours will too, and we'll find some. It's just, you just got to be in the right spot at the right time.
That's it. You've got to be, your coil's got to go over it, and it's just, you got to be at the right place at the right time, like you said. So, and I mean, it's bound to happen. Of course, you live in a good part of the country to find one.
I do, and like where we're going this weekend, we've got a spot. We know there's a World War II camp. We know Civil War soldiers went up and down the road and those old home sites, and there's a cave on the property. So we've got a lot of hunting to do this weekend. Camp's not going to be very, very busy.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. Of course, we had a lot of World War II maneuvers around here, and if you find a World War II camp, somewhere very close is going to be a Civil War camp. So, I mean, They all camped at the same spot pretty much.
And the Indians before are colonial, before Civil War, and then the Indians prior to that. You know, a good site is a good site. It's high ground. It's around water and everything. Hey, Ken, the same question to you. What do you think that you should have found that just keeps eluding you? Your white whale.
Oh, that button Blake Gibbs found this weekend. You know, we were all standing around. It's funny. We were all standing around talking about it. Like, well, I guess there's not really a whole lot here. Heath is with us, and Jeff Gibbs and JJ Hall was with us, and we were just sitting there talking. Like, okay, we'll head back down the hill from where we was. And Blake starts gets a tone, and Heath looks at him like, "You didn't dig that." And I was about 15 feet away and heard it, and he dug it at that New York button. Boy, it was pretty, but I hadn't found a button yet. And I would have thought I would have found one of them, but I'm holding out. And like I say, if Blake hadn't took it from me like that, I would have got one. No, it was a great find for him. Really excited for him, and my button will come. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, you know when we went to DIV in the spring, and we were at the pre-hunt meeting there. They told us that there was a New York camp, and I told the guys that we were with, I said, the only thing I want to get out of here with is a New York button. I didn't get one. And Matt, how you're still on here? How many New York buttons were found up there?
Oh, I know with my group, we probably dug 15.
I dug one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barb dug one. Everybody around me dug a button. And I'm digging watch winders and bullets and eagle buttons and
I'll take all those.
Yeah, I will too. But I've got all of those. I don't have a New York button. I want a New York button, you know. But yeah, Ken.
You need to go to the second hunt we're having at DIV this year, this winter, this fall.
I can't make them in the fall. It's going to be spring, and I'm anxious to see where
my buddy Anthony Corsetti from New York actually found 40 New York buttons in one hole with a lot of cloth on them yet.
Man.
You know, Lloyd, I did find I think if I recall correctly, you guys hadn't done a Williams cleaner for a long time, and I think you were with Ron and Tim. Maybe y'all found a bunch of them down there in South Tennessee, and that's one thing I found a few weeks ago with Scott Duncan that I had not found. I thought with all the bullets I'd found one, so I did get one of those. So that was one thing that had eluded me. That's now off that list. So now the button's what it needs to be. That's where I want to. That's my next thing.
Yeah, when I went down there with Ron and Tim, Tim found several Williams cleaners there in one spot. But me and Jeff, when we got on the Gallatin camp on the construction site, I have no idea how many Williams cleaners we found. We probably
did? Okay.
We probably found 50 there.
Yeah, and
I misunderstood that. I'm sorry.
I found pieces to a Williams cleaner, and then but I've never found a whole one. And they still had the zinc base part in them. I think I ended up with 15 that still had the zinc in them.
I got a bunch of them, and I hadn't found one until, well, I take that back. I had found one, and I found it up under the roots of a tree, and that was at the, what site was that up there around South Tunnel? What did they call that, Jeff?
Oh, Fort Mitchell?
Yeah, Fort Mitchell. I found one there. That was the first one that I'd ever found. Sure was. Hey, guys, we're coming up on the bottom of the hour. I guess it's getting time to get close to closing the show out. Who did you guys pick to get a Relics Radio T-shirt tonight?
Who you got,
Earl from Virginia.
Earl from Virginia. Okay.
There you go. Congratulations, Earl.
Hey, Earl, send me your stuff and your address and everything. And then, or send it to Ken, and he will get you one of those mailed out. Hey, you guys tell everybody here in the chat and everything. By the way, on the description of this show, we put a link to all of our advertisers that we advertise, but tell everybody again how they can get in touch with you guys.
Well, of course, you can get our Facebook page, and if you don't mind, just go to our Facebook page and like it, or ask to be joined a member. We're going to try to run some specials down the road, and so that way you can keep up the rest of that. But the Detectees, just put the Detectees. It's our Facebook page. You can shoot me a message off that. Of course, you can go to Ken Guthrie, Marc Guthrie, and PM us that way, or you can go to our website, www.detectees.com, and you can leave us a message there. Or I think it's detectees@gmail.com. So we're easy to get a hold of. We're really easy, but PMing me is probably the quickest way. And if Earl will shoot me a PM and let me know his address, we'll get that in the mail. It'll be Tuesday because Monday they'll be closed. But I said everything. If you order anything, everything goes out on Mondays. So.
Yeah. There's been one or two that has asked me. They said that they were waiting on their shirt, and I told them that y'all mailed out on Monday, and we're doing our best we want to it's a competition with us. We want to outsell History Seekers, and we want to outsell Wide Pride, and we want to outsell American Deer. We want more Relics Radio T-shirts out there than anybody, don't we, Jeff?
We sure do, and we're doing a pretty good job at it. It's like the manatee crawl.
Well, the truth is, if somebody's looking for a rare object, we only got 75 of those to make. So if you got one, you have something that there will only be 75 of in the world.
What's that?
You will have the T-shirts.
Our first run, we have 75 shirts ready to go. Now, we'll make more once we have more orders, but our first run is limited to 75 pieces.
Yeah.
Of the Relics Radio.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you want something that nobody else in the world, there's only 75 in the world that can be had. That's it.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go. Buy that thing. Don't put it on your back. Put it in a closet somewhere, because I guarantee
right.
you, Matt Howe, when you get as old as I am, that thing's going to be worth some money.
It's going to be a relic.
Hey guys, you have been super guests, and I knew that you would be, and certainly do appreciate you taking out your time tonight and coming and being with us, don't we, Jeff?
We sure do, and I think this is the most callers we've ever had, right?
It is. We had 7 on at one time, and that is great. If you guys will hang on the line, I'm going to close the show out, and I'll catch y'all on the other side and talk to you. But before we do that, I want to let you know what we've got coming up. Next week, we've got Joe Davidson, Okie Surf and Turf Metal Detecting. He's from Washington State. I have hunted with him. He came here a couple of years ago and hunted with me. Just a great guy. We're still open on September the 13th. And by the way, Heath Jones will be hosting the show with Jeff on September the 13th, because I've got a prior engagement that I've got to go to. And then on September the 20th, we'll have 5280 Adventures on YouTube. That's Tony. And then on September the 27th, we're going to have Denny Morrison, and that's all that I've got scheduled so far. I've got some other feelers out, but I don't have anything confirmed on that yet. And if you like shows like this, podcast about metal detecting, be sure and check out Beyond Sight and Sound on Sunday and Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. All Metal Mode is on Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. American Digger Relic Roundup with Butch Holcomb and the gang is on Monday night at 9 o'clock. History Seekers got their permits, and so they extended their show, and they're on Tuesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern. And then Hardcore Metal Detecting is on Thursday night and Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And obviously, we are on every Thursday night here on Relics Radio at 8 o'clock Eastern, and we look forward to seeing all of you guys again next week. Thanks for all the callers. Thanks for everybody in the chat, and y'all have a good night. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Relics Radio. We really do appreciate it. Be sure and join us live each Thursday night at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern here on Spreaker. Or you can catch the archive show at Relics Radio on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, or iTunes. Please take a minute and hit the like button, and be sure and follow us so that you'll get notifications of all of our upcoming broadcasts. You can also find us on YouTube at Digging with 7 or Tennessee Jeff, or you can check us out on our Relics Radio Facebook page. If you'd like to get in touch with us, then send an email to diggingwith7@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We hope you'll join us next Thursday night, and until then, get out there and dig some history.